Alright, so Mista's back, and here we go. He's going to be playing Zeus, so it's going to be Loki Isis versus Zeus Thor Uranus on Marsh. So the regens have spawned on the bottom side here, with the Mista taking the left side, LMB taking the middle pocket as Thor, and T2 playing on the right with Uranus. On the lad side, we've got ReGen as Isis on the right side. Kuvar is going to be in the pocket as their first Loki, and the second Loki is Simtom on the left side. Should be interesting to see if there are any key relics in this game. We see two of them now. Here, villagers carry more food. Typically not a very relevant relic. Secrets of the Titan tech is less expensive. This could be very, very nice for T2. It'll be interesting to see how well LMB can defend against the raids of Kuvar and Simtom. I expect them to target their pocket because generally it's easier to raid the weaker player. And nothing out of the ordinary happening there. We expect a 430 from T2. The Thor player actually taking a somewhat unorthodox build here, using his Dwarven Mine, going 5 food, but then also making a dwarf to wood. Meanwhile, what's the Mista doing? He's got so a 5-3-2 currently, probably going to go one more to gold. So that indicates a 2 TC, which could be quite dangerous here if that is what he's doing, because they kind of need the ceasefire for later. They do have 2 Loki flaming weapons coming their way. Let's take a look again at what ReGen's doing. He's got quite a bit of villagers in this initial hunt gathering spot. He does have some hippos back here, which is probably... He's not really concerned about splitting his hunt spot, because with all the vills, once these deer are done, he can just walk out here and continue gathering efficiently. Typically, it's better to split your hunt, because or else you have too much walking time. But in this case, when you have so much hunt in one spot, it is actually better to have everyone in one spot, because then they're all dropping off where your Pharaoh is empowering, so it's more efficient. And on the sides of the Loki players, looks like a standard fast advance to Temple from there, and so yeah, pretty much the same for Simtom up here. Okay, so ReGen going for a boom while his teammates are going to be putting all the pressure on. He's making another priest here. And if we look at his current priest now, okay, he doesn't have any relic upgrades or anything like that. But he does have 11 on gold for this prosperity, so that will allow him to make a few more priests, as well as grab another or maybe even 2 more town centers. Now that we've scouted more of the map, though, let's take a look at which other relics we've found. Increase the range attack of buildings. This can be very, very nice, especially for LMB, who will likely have to upgrade his towers and will be shooting at whatever's coming his way. This relic we've already seen here, which was Secrets of the Titan tech being more or less expensive. Over here, buildings more resistant to siege weapons. This would be very nice for pretty much any player, but even more so for T2, who's going to be facing the siege of ReGen, the Egyptian player. Over here, infantry do more damage to Titans. This would be quite nice for either of the Loki players if T2 does manage to get a Titan out. See players getting through to the classical age. Here, nothing unexpected in terms of god choice, except for LMB, who actually decided to go Freya. One would have expected him probably to go for Seti against double Loki, so he's not going to have access to fast Herseer, which makes kind of matching the Loki raids quite difficult. Over here we've got a double from both myth units actually trying to slow down this town center, but there are three heroes here, so there's no chance of this being prevented from going up. This is kind of a bold grab by ReGen here, because it's very possible for T2 and LMB to put some good pressure on a forward town center and then kind of context switch to the back. But lads are very well prepared for this. Simtom's base is so well defensible, he just has to put 2 walls up, and it's very hard for the ReGen team to actually attack him now. And that makes kind of them be able to force the fights on the right side of the map. They don't have to run their armies to the left side, and they can't be surprised and kind of kill this town center for free. So a nice job there by the lads identifying the weaknesses and strengths of the map and using it to their advantage. The raids are not even they're not even trying to go for raids on the Mista. He's now on his second town center as kind of expected, but the armies are now coming to LMB and or T2. Nice sandwich there by Sim and Kuvar, getting some nice hits on the slow army. What he should be doing here is, well, he doesn't have fast Herseers, as we mentioned before, so he doesn't really have much chance against the Loki fast Herseers, and unfortunately the Mista losing his Odysseus there and also giving the Loki players some free favor. And here comes the double on LMB. Jason is here to help out, as well as one Hippocon, but the lads are significantly outnumbering LMB and the Mista here, so they should be able to do some nice damage. They are backing though here, which and actually now that LMB has a decent sized army and T2 is here to help, they should be able to take this fight. Lad needs to get out now, or they're going to lose a lot. Meanwhile over here, Simtom is establishing even more map control, putting up a very nice wall here beside the Mista's base. And ReGen's put up 1 barracks now. And he's throwing down his armory, so he's probably going to go 2 TC fast heroic, or semi-fast heroic, and then come up with a strong push on his side, while taking a 3rd town center. Over here, T2 scouting the town centers, making sure none of the Loki players are going for some random TC grab shenanigans. And the Mista doing a good job of making sure that this wall cannot get up, which would seriously limit their mobility. And now it seems like the ReGen team has managed to stabilize quite well. T2 attempting to take his 3rd town center, and Simtom I think was a little bit too far to scout this. So that should be getting up without any problems, as long as this army doesn't go back their way. And a nice sandwich here, he's going to be able to grab some amount of units and actually get a nice Valk spawn. T2 using Shockwave there, picking off the Sphinx, and ReGen throwing up a monument there so that no god powers can be used. At the same time, this TC kind of secures him all this hunt and this very nice gold mine. Not that he needs it, because he did spawn with a really good large gold mine right in his base. LMB though going for some raids over here on Simtom, and he's going to be found, so he's going to have some hits. Needs to be careful with the pathing here. He is going to be able to get out. The problem with doing Thor raids with Freya is you need a Valk with your raiding cavalry. Otherwise, they have no line of sight, and you can't actually find anything. So your two options are make sure you don't suicide your Valk and bring them with your raids, or go for SETI and get fast Herseer, so that because Herseer actually have decent line of sight. Meanwhile, the Mista's not grabbing a third town center, just continuing to pretty much just boom. I don't really see him having much army. Any army, really. He's got 2 heroes here, and that's pretty much it, as far as I can see on the map. Oh, that's not quite right. He has 7 Hippocons down here, and oh, this hurts lads a lot. Or sorry, not lads, ReGen a lot. T2 was pushed off this town center and lost a citizen. But looks like help did come in time, and they were able to pick off a few Herseer, so not altogether terrible for ReGen, but still a nice win for lad there. Meanwhile, Kuvar putting up a nice wall to protect this area, and this region here is going to be very, very hard to penetrate. Though LMB is going to take his second town center here, which is quite dangerous, to be quite honest with you. It's very forward, and it's kind of central to a lot of where their armies are. Mista is not really in a position to come all the way up here to help, while both Loki players can easily converge down to double this town center, and ReGen is right there. So this is going to be, I think this is a mistake by the ReGen team. It's going to be very hard for them to hold on to this town center. It's going to cost them a lot of micro and macro, and if ever their army is out of position and the lads happen to be here, this town center is going down. Some really nice raids coming here by Kuvar, though. He's going to find this gold mine, and they have 2 units here, which should be fine to fight as long as Kuvar doesn't get a summon. Meanwhile, LMB attempting to throw down a wall here in the middle, but being pushed off by chariot archers. They are getting a battle bow out of that trade, though, so a good trade for them. LMB casting forest fire here. I didn't see how much damage was done. It looks like 1 Cav and 1 Herseer was at least were killed. The Mista down, though, in heroic age, still having a nice 2 town center boom. Let's take a look at the economy upgrades for all the players. This is the Mista here having all the baseline upgrades. LMB, no hand axe or husbandry, but has the rest of the baseline. Simtom, most of the baseline, all the baseline upgrades there. Kuvar, same thing, all the baseline upgrades. Raisin's now on a harsh 3 town center boom, though, and has shaft mine on top of the baseline upgrades. T2 should have pretty good upgrades as well, actually has the baseline upgrades. And Plow, which most players didn't have, he's the first to start farming. Big battle going on here in the middle. This town center is pretty much indefensible. They don't have enough army mobility to help out to defend this, and T2 loses a good size of his army there. He's fighting 3v1, and Raisin's push is just going to be monstrous. He's got a really big economy behind him. 2 Scorpion men coming in. The Mista having Odysseus here, which is going to help quite a bit, though. He just needs to micro this properly, and 1 Valk being put down, as well as Scorp taking a lot of damage here. So good positioning there from the Mista. The Scorpion men can do a lot of damage to the Norse. So LMB town center down. He's in trouble because he's actually opted to move his units from the back mine to the forward mine, and that's going to hurt his production for a while. Raisin throwing up a very aggressive mid-gall here. This is exactly what they need. Once he can claim this town center on the back of his huge economy, he's going to be a big threat in this game. Let's take a look again. He's now got Sacred Cats and Irrigation. So he is going to have trade going up soon. He's probably going to grab this Beyond 4 town center. He's going to be a big problem. Mista needs to get Mythic and cast Underworld very, very soon. Is he up right now? Yes. He's actually up Hera, though. He's up 80% Hera. He senses that they need help right now, and unfortunately he won't be able to cast his God Power once he's up because Eclipse is going to be effective for the next minute. ReGen's grabbing his 4th town center here. He's still got a much bigger army. The Mista does have some units that are going to help, but LMB at this point is just scrambling. His entire economy is pretty much idle. Hasn't been able to take his back town center, and he got raided off that gold mine. Meanwhile, T2 doing some nice micro with his Terma here, picking off these Chariot Archers while his Murmillo are taking down the Ellies. So despite that though, ReGen is just too big. He doesn't care if he trades unoptimally. He's got more resources, better economy than T2 does, and he's about to have better units with another town center's worth of population plus the ISIS bonus for TCs. So T2's pretty much not going to survive too much longer. I don't see him hitting Mythic anytime soon. Let's take a look if he's up. No, he can't because he's too busy making units. ReGen's got 3 siege towers here. He's going to go for this town center. It's not really that wise though. These 3 citizens can easily pick off those siege towers, so they're pretty much going to die for no reason. So good micro there by T2, not letting his town center take too much damage by those siege towers. ReGen gonna come immediately through the bottom of the map and try to kind of pick off his town center. T2 needs to be careful with those citizens, though he can't lose them. Meanwhile, Simtom has switched over to some raiding cavalry, but Mista's now Mythic. He's got some Merm spam, he's got his OP Bellerophon, and let's see where he's gonna cast Underworld. He's still waiting to get full pop army. He's casting now Lightning Storm to try to buy his teammates some time before he does his Underworld attack. Economy upgrades are pretty good. And this ends this push right here. Meanwhile, though, lads are going to try to take this back town center, and there isn't really army to prevent it right now. Actually, LMB, though, sending a lot of units, including 3 battle boars, which aren't so effective against Loki units here. Actually, he decides to throw his battle boars back the other way, and his main town center got raided by a mountain giant earlier and probably some battle boars now, so he is in trouble. He does have a good economy rolling though, so if he micros or macros this properly, he should be able to recover without any issues. On the left side though, Simtom's now up heroic through Braggy, and the Mista does have ceasefire, but now Loki's have 2 flaming weapons pending. So once they seize 1 flaming weapons, the other one is going to be cast. ReGen here getting picked off by some crocodiles, unfortunately, trying to take a 5th town center. He definitely has the economy for it. It would be most beneficial if lads did get a 5th town center for ReGen. Big raiding cavalry army coming in here on the bottom side from Simtom, though there are some heavy Murmillos here and a shockwave, so this fight should go favorably for T2. Once the double comes in though, he's going to be forced to back, though he does manage to pick off a good amount of units before the double comes in. He doesn't have a gate here though. He does actually made his own wall though, so he should be fine to back out of here. He has Palace Guard as well as a nice choke point. Flaming weapons being cast, and let's see if Mista cast sees fire. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Still crazy mountain giant raids coming in from Kuvar, and LMB just in serious trouble, not able to get his town centers back up. For those asking about the score, it's currently 0-0. This is game 1. ReGen now almost on his 5th town center. He's got some barracks up. He's going to be able to make some units to help out on the left side of the map. Underworld Passage, though, is through here, and this town center taken. So Kuvar is in rough shape. The spy here, though, is on this. And he's doing double fortress, so he's seriously going to be defending this position and he decides not to try to eliminate Kuvar yet, but go for other places. Meanwhile, Simtom having to back because those heavy Myrmidons are just too strong. but Flaming Weapons doing some work and taking him out there. Over here, Tearing Gate being cast to try to slow down ReGen. It's not going to do a whole lot, but it is going to buy them some time. But ReGen on 5 TCs, I think, with his trade route going, is just going to hurt them too much. Kuvar, though, in seriously rough shape. He's got a bunch of idle vills here, as well. Lost his main town center. He is moving to another mine down there. But the Mista just having too big of an impact here with Underworld. There isn't any pressure on his base, so he is free to wreak havoc on this double. He's on 3 town centers now. Soon to be on 4 if he manages to take this out and grab it. Actually, that probably won't happen anytime soon. Though the big thing is he's giving LMB time to recover. The problem, though, with this Underworld is he doesn't have an easy way to get his 4th town center. Hill Fort being thrown up here by Sim, which is exactly what they need. But at this point, Kuvar is so hurt. He doesn't have really any army. And it's basically a 2v2 at this point. I missed the T2 versus ReGen and Simtom. And ReGen comes back over here, though, and actually brings his full army to try to take out this town center. And, oh, if they trib blue here, he should be able to grab this town center in time. Yeah. Ceasefire being cast, and ReGen going to pick up this town center just in time. That's a big mistake from the ReGen team. They needed to get this. Son of Sash is there to empower, so that's going to be built very fast. And a massive trade route. Let's take a look at the total resources quickly, and we'll see how far ReGen is ahead here. Actually, the Mista pretty close to ReGen despite not having the same trade route. And you can see Kuvar is quite hurt here. He just doesn't really have anything to compete with. LMB at the same time was hurt a lot. He's not much that far ahead. T2, though, taking advantage of this ceasefire to put up his Titan Gate. And Kuvar still has his flaming weapons, but he's so hurt that it's really not going to be a big impact in this game. Similarly, LMB does have his flaming weapons, but he could be much more impactful because despite the fact that he was hurt so much, he still has a good economy rolling. He's soon going to be Balder, 55%, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage to the opponents. And well, once this tower is taken out, actually probably even before that because it's not getting microed, he will get this town center back up. He'll be back on 2 TCs. Let's take a look at what's happening again here at the Titan Gate location. Underworld's been killed through this double, as well as Mercs being spammed, so the Mista being deleted quite well from that portion of the map. But I mean, look how much time he's managed to buy his teammates. LMB, though, sending in some units here kind of to their death. He needs to get out right now. Yeah, even these units here running in, there's too many units here. He's just going to lose everything. And there we go, he does run, so that's well played by him. The Mista, though, having a nice back build here that I don't think the lad players are aware of. Spamming more military academies. If he can get enough Myrmidons or hoplites here, he can easily take this town center and go back to 3. On the front here, he is fighting, and he is soon going to be able to push this location. Simtom nicely anticipating that and spamming some towers, but some very nice upgrades here being picked up by the Mista, so he's going to be able to kill this town center very quickly. Meanwhile, ReGen does have, like, he's huge and he has a big army, but his army mobility just hurts so much. He's slow with the Ellie's and catapults and axemen, so he hasn't been able to do as much as he potentially could have if he was a big Loki with fast units, for example. LMB helping to push the position is going to stop some siege tech from ReGen. This is nice. T2 pushing out for his 4th town center while his Titan is now built. So that fantastic job by the Mista there, buying his teammates some time to actually get back in this game. He's launched a huge attack here on this town center, and it looks like it will go down, but he is losing a lot of units to do so. It looks to me like it's definitely worth it, though. Now Simtom's back to 2 town centers. He does have a decent army and a good tower spam going here, but again, it's delaying him. Trading units for buildings at this point is what you want to be doing. Kuvar going for some nice raids with battle boars, and enough kind of Herseer back here to be impactful. Though it doesn't really matter what happens to LMB at this point. He's got a pretty big rag going on. Let's take a look at the post game and see what the population looks like. Civilian units. Oh, this is actually a very small rag. He only had about just under 60 units. So that's not going to do a whole lot, to be honest. He does have flaming weapons, though. But, you know, at a 25-minute point in the game, 24-minute point in the game, you expect the 90-unit rag, not a sub-60-unit rag. T2 being pushed off this location. The Son of Osiris and the double coming in here is just going to be too much. LMB not being able to provide any support, really. And him going over in this position with his rag is a huge mistake. The problem is, he's fighting without flaming weapons right now, and he already has such a tiny army. He needs to attack more critical locations. He can't come to a location with 4 towers when there's so many good spots to attack. Still no flaming weapons being cast, and he only has bronze shield, so these towers are just gonna slay his Ragnarok units, or buy enough time. Like right now he's already 10 seconds through his flaming weapons, and he hasn't really accomplished a whole lot. Semtom doing a good job backing away, and maybe he's gonna grab this location. But if you think about how much damage a rag should do, it shouldn't be this small. T2 meanwhile, though, his Titan is doing a lot of work to stall ReGen, and can we see T2 and the Mista carry this game? What's yeah, the back build here just doing a lot of distraction. ReGen does have a lot of mercenary units available and a lot of gold because of his trade, but the Mista's back build here just doing so much work, requiring a lot of units. Meanwhile, this rag is kind of done now. Once Flaming Weapons is gone, this TC is going to be down, but with the help of the Nidhogg and enough units, LMB is pretty much going to be deleted from this game. He is on his way to recovering, but it's going to be at least another 3 minutes before he has anything relevant once again. If we look at his temple, he is making fire giants though, which is helpful, but against 2 Lokis, it's easily counterable. Meanwhile, Sim losing this town center to the Mista, as well as... Let's see though, is the Mista gonna come grab this town center? I mean, a nice job. In a way, it's nice to clear up this town center for the Mista, but I mean, again, he lost way too many units for that. Attacking one position and killing one town center with a full 24-minute flaming weapons rag is just not nearly enough damage. Meanwhile, T2's Titan is 4k HP out of 7k, so it's going to be going down pretty quickly. The Mista having a Belafron though, doing some nice damage to the Hersters, which are attacking the Titan. And Kuvar still on 0 town centers. He has had a really rough game, constantly raided by the opponents. Over here on the bottom side, this rag actually doing a nice job of denying this town center from ReGen. So ReGen's now back down to 4 town centers, and T2's probably going to be able to grab this location, depending on how relevant the micro of the Son of Osiris is here. Kuvar has a nice amount of units for how wrecked he's been this game, and being on 0 town centers. This Titan continuing to do some serious damage though. If he can take out, you know, a couple more town centers from ReGen while attacking, they might be able to secure this position. But at this point, ReGen's back to 5 town centers, and the Mista is not yet on 3. He needs more town centers, and he just has no way to grab them. He's trying to get more map control over here, and this is his last gold mine. He does have some trade going, and he just has no way to get Vils up here to actually build this town center. ReGen, though, on 5 town centers, is going to be able to push T2 back here very shortly, even with the Titan at his back. He's not actually using a lot of pop to try to counter this Titan. It's just mostly Semtom's fire giants that are... but if the Mista actually micros this properly, these fire giants are not going to last long. So very unfortunate positioning for them. The Titan now down to 3k HP. He's lost another 1000 HP. ReGen going for 6 town center here, but the Mista making a couple Myrmidons, which are easily going to prevent that from going up, as well as probably kill some units from ReGen there. Back here, the Titan managed to take down this town center, so ReGen again down to 4 town centers. But he's pushed here. He's pushing the Mista back. He's pushing T2 back here in the middle, on the back of catapults, Son of Osiris, and a Nidhogg here. LMB needs to micro the Fire Giant on the Nidhogg, which he is doing, so good job by him. And let's take a look. It should have been about 2 minutes. His economy is slowly rolling back again. The Mista's got a bunch of idle military units here that need to move out. But he's going to be, yeah, it doesn't look like he's recovered that quickly, so he's probably going to be another 2 or 3 minutes before he starts actually making any sort of relevant army. Simtom picking up this town center, going up to 5, and ReGen still having a nice positioning here with his Son of Osiris, doing so much damage, and T2's just can't compete with the army quality of the Egyptian that's coming his way, as well as the double. LMB needs to provide more than 1 Fire Giant, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Meanwhile, the Mista continuing to relentlessly pressure back here, keeping them off this town center. ReGen, though, trying to spam some towers so that he's actually able to build and get back up to 6 town centers. Kuvar, still on 0 town centers, though, is using his economy effectively, probably trimming some of that to his teammates, and building what units he can with what he's got. Let's take a look at the bottom of the map where it seems like Mista is being pushed back now. Yeah, Kuvar or Simtom is coming to his front, which is going to be a serious problem. Mista does do a nice job of pushing out into the middle of the map though and establishing some map control, but Simtom says, sure, you can grab some map control, but I'm just going to kill your base. I'm not going to fight where you spammed a million towers, which is the very smart thing to do. Good job by him there. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the Titan. It's taken down another town center, but there aren't any units chasing it, so it's not dying that quickly at this point. And but it is pretty low. It's got 1000 HP, but it looks like it's regenerating more quickly than it's dying. If he actually opts to kill these houses, he could do some decent damage to the Egyptian player and buy himself a little bit of time against this push, because more units will not be coming out to reinforce. It's a bit unfortunate for ReGen that he doesn't have this town center, because it is better to spam Mercs from than this one for this push, but at the same time this town center isn't that far away, so he can definitely make Mercs from there. Good micro there by T2, killing off the catapults that are there, and this army looks like it is going to be neutralized, at least for the time being. Now let's take back a look at what's happening in the fight on the left side. Yeah, Simtom doing a nice job spamming hill forts, making some ballista, as well as gaining some ground near Mista's base so he can try to make some walls, make some ballista, take out his town center, which is very strong at this point. Yeah, it's got the Hera upgrade, fortified, masons, though no architects yet. The Titan being relentless here, actually, still not dying, regenerating more health than it is losing. Nice micro there by T2, and ReGen being kept off town centers for this very purpose. Now let's take a look at the left side of the map. Mista putting some pressure on, but ReGen's managed to secure this position, so that is very key for him, because the town centers in his actual base are not going up. T2 needs to micro this. He cannot let this town center get up, and it doesn't look like he gets there in time here, so unfortunately, oh, he might. Very, very close call there, but the town center does get up, and on the back of that, the Titan is probably gonna go down. Yeah, there's a priest here, and yeah, ReGen says, that's it, can't compete. And that's game 1. GG. Very exciting game. Very good job with the Underworld, and T2 doing a very good job of defending against a 5 town center Egyptian player. Unfortunately, LMB just getting hurt too much and not really being able to do a whole lot in this game.
Yes.
Let's take a look at the stats here. Yeah, not a surprise. ReGen having the best score. And it's kind of surprising, though, that the Mista didn't have second best, despite having like he lost a lot of score because he gets doubled and tripled so much. But as a Mythic Zeus, he probably did kill a lot. But ReGen having the highest military as well as kill count and buildings raised. Not a surprise because of how many units he had and how well he boomed and expanded into his 5 town center empire that he had going for a lot of the game. Also having the quickest heroic age, not a surprise, doing a 2TC fast heroic. 916 is a pretty good time with on the back of a 2TC economy, so nice job there. The Mista getting a pretty quick 1422 mythic age. But we can see here ReGen did a nice job countering the Myrmidons from the Mista, making the right units, and the relentless spam of myth units, 19 battle boars and 12 fire giants. Loki's doing what they do best, making strong myth units.